What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. As you can tell, we are actually in a completely different shop. This is the project that Mike's been working on for a long time, the YJ, the recovery Jeep for Crossbar Off-Road Park. So we're actually down here at Crossbar today, and as you can tell, the YJ is delivered. So we have a lot to catch you guys up to speed on. We're gonna walk around the YJ and hopefully take it on a little shakedown run today after this. So we do have some stuff to do, but before we start talking about that, let's do a little walk around of the YJ. So Mike, you want to start it off?
Started life as a Jeep in the middle of a field. It was bought several times, traded several times. Came just a tub and a frame. Everything else you see is bought, purchased, something by the ranch, or made one-off.
It's going to be the recovery rig for the park. AMC 360 under there. Turbo 400 with 4L80 internals, MP 205 transfer case, which is over there. Chevy, like 3/4 ton axles, 37s, Raceline Beadlocks, stretched 6 inches in the rear. We got a rear winch, fuel cell, dual batteries, little jack mount over there. Genright Cage, Barnes armor, some seats. Very, very simple and easy dash. This thing is a mechanical fuel pump, so there's really nothing electric on this except for start and then the few switches that you have added on there for like lights and stuff. But AMC 360 up there, keeping it simple.
Well, the thing is it has to be able to go. And we did a double battery, 670 truck Avenger on it, mechanical fuel pump, mechanical water pump, mechanical fan. So there are no bells and whistles to this thing. When you start it and just go. We did the double battery for sustained pulls with both the 8274 upgraded. This one's got the 9.5 motor on it.
All right, Mike starts rambling on when he starts talking about those those winches. So we have a lot of work to do. We have to get this transfer case in during the progress. Well, it's not doing front digs, so I had to take it out, realign one of the shift forks, and we're popping it back up in. So we wrestled the transfer case up in there. The 205s are extremely heavy. It's a big transfer case and it's perfect for a rig like this. We're actually setting the throw on the shifters. So this is the like a JB dual shifter setup. We got the front set for high, neutral, and low. We got to work on the rear. So Mike's under there setting those. I want to show you guys this crazy skid plate. So this is what is actually the final outcome of the transfer case skid plate. So we started off with a Barnes YJ flat skid plate. Now we could do a drop to go even lower, but like Mike was saying, we are losing ground clearance on the entire side. Whereas now we'll drop this down, plate that, and then this is where the fabrication's gonna have to get funky because the front drive shaft is not gonna clear this. And then had to re-brace it up, and it looks crazy, but this thing's gonna work. Oh, gosh. Oh, there we go. We are in two-wheel drive officially. That is one project, one thing out of the way. Super simple. Too high, and then this is neutral. So see how it's like a little bit offset? Yeah. This actually rides really good. What's the tire pressure at? I don't even think they're low yet. This rides surprisingly well for a leaf spring Jeep. On this road, like even the JK, it's bumpy. This isn't bad at all.
Yeah, the tire pressure is like crazy.
I think this is ready to be a daily driver. Yep. Oh, it's actually very, the ride is, it's not, it's a perfect, like the spring rate's really good. Not stiff at all. They're both spinning like it's locked or like a limited.
Wow.
They're both spinning. Put it in too low. I want to see if the rear's locked or if the rear's open too. I mean, it's a limited slip rear, but we're just curious to see what kind of condition. Nah, your front's still climbing, it looked like.
The rear on the other beam up there.
Oh.
It's gonna climb.
Are you sure that's the front's in neutral?
No, the front's in low. Now
Yeah,
I got it in full low.
Put the front in neutral. Only do the rear. I want to see if it slips. Yeah, see, keep going. Yeah, they're both eating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's good. So the reason I was checking that is because we didn't actually, there's no lockers installed. So these supposedly had limited slips, and it does look like they do, and they're actually in good shape because it's acting like they're both locked.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's good to go, man.
Yeah. I say we're done.
Yeah. You don't want to crawl her anywhere? Mike's like, I don't want to break it. All right.
Don't want to break it yet. I like it.
Yep. I think it's fair to say that the first little test run on the YJ, I keep saying YJ, what it like has a CJ front grille. Yes, originally it was a YJ, but we're gonna call it the recovery rig. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts, it runs, it is good to go. It shifts, it drives. We haven't really tested it out in the rocks yet. We're gonna let the guys here at the park, at the ranch do that. That way, whenever they break it, it's on them, so.
But definitely front dig. That's what we were checking today.
Yep. So it is in good hands now. They're gonna go play with it, have fun with it, and I'm sure something will break. But we're gonna go air down the tires. It is surprisingly an extremely good ride for leaf springs. Could be the mixture of the shocks, you know, having 0 oil in them. You know, who knows? And it's just some nice old used leaf springs, making it nice and soft. But I'm excited to see this thing out on the trails. We're gonna head back home soon, so see you guys in the shop. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take the YJ on any big trails or anything. We were just doing a real quick shakedown run, making sure everything worked. And that's because the guys at Crossbar, they were extremely excited to get their rig finally. It's been a project for about a year. Mike's been busting his butt on it. Turned out really great. I went over and helped out where I could, but the majority of the project was Mike. So it turned out really good. The guys at Crossbar are gonna enjoy, and we're gonna let them kind of wheel it and have fun with it. It is gonna be an amazing recovery rig for the ranch. It's not over the top. It's not crazy, but it is gonna do exactly what a recovery rig needs to do when it needs to do it, nothing fancy. So it's perfect. But I know a lot of you guys have been wondering where in the world Cassie is. Unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, but Cassie did get a new job here in Oklahoma City, and you know, she really does enjoy it. It's a great fit for her. But unfortunately, that means she has not been on the channel much. So that is gonna change. We're gonna tackle a few things on hers. I think it might be on my channel just because she doesn't have the time to do full videos on her channel anymore. So more about that in the next video, but Cassie is still here, guys, don't worry. And another common misconception is that the YJ project up there, some people were thinking that was the recovery rig project. That is not, that is its own project. We're still gonna, you know, start ramping that up this winter because it's a pretty large project. That is pretty much the end of the video on this side. I gotta run to Mike's. He's helping kind of fix up somebody's Cherokee, do a tune-up. We've done a lot of stuff and it's still not running right, so we're gonna head over there, bring the GoPro. We'll see you over there. So here it is, the 360,000 mile Cherokee. I can't believe it. And she runs like crap. You got new injectors, all that, new distributor, new wires, new plugs, new IAC, TPS, new throttle cable because the other one was snapped. What else?
That was for a loop. Like,
yeah.
Did you show them the?
Nope.
The boot covered everything. So when we pulled this open,
yeah, the cables were actually frayed and it wasn't moved right
see
there.
that big knot?
Yep.
And then on the other end,
same exact thing.
It unraveled on the whole cable.
So the throttle was literally sticking on this thing, and that wasn't good. But everything's new. You just changed out the fuel filter. We changed out the fuel regulator.
This is just too many things broken all at once.
Oh yeah.
Just
I mean, the 360,000 miles, and everything we changed was still factory. So
yeah.
let's
fuel pump came out, or the fuel filter came
fuel
out
filter
black.
was disgusting.
Just
yeah. but it's a wonder she still runs. It doesn't knock or anything. We got it idling really good yesterday, changing out the IAC, but it right now, like after that, still had 0 power. Like you could mash the gas and 2,000 RPMs and it wouldn't even barely go around his yard. So yeah. Fuel filter has been changed this morning. Let's take it for a spin, and the map. And the belt.
Like it's a $500 Jeep Cherokee, you know?
Yeah. So yesterday it wouldn't accelerate at all, or barely. Like that would be full throttle. Oh, a little better. Actually getting some backfire in this time. There are 364,000 reasons why this thing barely runs. And with a little tinkering and probably 364 bucks, this thing's gonna be running like a champ. Well, I forgot where we left off, but we have come to a conclusion that the XJ had a bad PCM. So there was a lot of troubleshooting to get to that point. But what we found out is that the PCM has a failed injector driver number 2. So there are 6 injectors, there's 6 injector drivers. So what happened was a rat or something at some point, there's some rat stuff down there. The number 2 injector shorted together the wires right there, and it actually just fried the injector driver on the PCM.
We swapped the injector back and forth, and then we swapped the wiring, and then we found out it was definitely in the run to the computer, and then we eliminated the injector.
So we tested to make sure it wasn't a break in the wire, unplugged this, unplugged the ECU connector, those pin 15 which feeds there, hook your multimeter up to read ohms and see if there's continuity between the wire here and the plug, and in our case the wire was continuous, meaning the ECU is bad. So lots of little bit of troubleshooting going on. What do you think, Gary?
I think it's coming together.
Gary's waiting. He's sticking around to do burnouts in this thing. Been kind of waiting to end this video until the Cherokee starts and it's good to go, so we can kind of like move on from this. So hopefully this fixes the mileage. We might as well. 364,815.4 miles to be exact. What's one more thing on the list? She's sounding rough. Test number 465.
Take 2.
Take 2. Compression test. Cylinder number 2. 120. Not great, but pretty great for 364,000 miles. 518 miles. 0.4. And finally, take 525, the ignition coil. So it turns out that the previous owner, at some point in this Cherokee's life, as you can tell, the sun's setting, by the way, they had cut the wires. Where's the wire? And you chucked the wire? It's right here. They spliced in pretty much speaker wire, as you can tell right there, to feed the primary coil pack, which feeds the distributor. So this was enough to keep it spark happy at idle, but as soon as you put any load on it, there was just not enough spark to keep it happy. It was just backfiring and misfiring. Hopefully, this is the last thing. Cherokee gear and gadgets. The whole video is about Cherokees.
Perfect.
Perfect. Old Cherokees. Are you taking it wheeling? No.
We'll get him out.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong channel, sorry.
Ooh.
That is, it seems a lot better, but it's still not there. It's been a long project, and you know, the end goal is to try to keep this thing from going to the scrapyard if it can, but at some point we might have to call it. That's the best it's done so far, so. I mean, this is literally the last thing that it possibly could be.
That's what we've said.
That's what we've said on everyone. We're like, okay, one more sensor. That's the last thing. Fuel pump. That's the last thing. That's more like it. Boom. I saw a little cloud of dust up there.
Yeah.
So chassis feeling healthy? Yeah. It's all there. And it is official, the Cherokee is fixed. So there was a long laundry list of stuff that was changed on this. We've talked about it earlier. The only two that probably were not the issues were like the map and TPS sensor, but since we did everything else on it, why not throw those two? But the final straw was the fuel pump itself. But it's crazy because everything we changed, it would actually kind of help the Cherokee. It would help it run a little bit better, but it still wasn't all there. And finally the fuel pump fixed it, which means almost everything in the fuel system.
Ben and I went back and forth several times about what do you do with a $500 Cherokee, and we spent almost $600 in getting it running right. But
at what point do you at what point do you say, hey, this isn't worth it? But I think this thing is saved from the junkyard, 364,000 miles. It has another 50 to 100,000 miles left in it.
I would say 100 at least. I think it'll run for a while. But plus it's a half JK.
Half JK. We've got the JK wheels. We'll probably see this down at the ranch. It's gonna be back up here probably in the next few months for a lift kit. So we'll see you around. This has been a long video. We had the YJ in the beginning, the XJ in the end. We'll see you guys in the next video.